I got a new job after being laid off, and with the encouragement of friends and family, even though their schedules didn't line up with mine, I booked a solo trip to Bali. I hadn't gone on a solo trip in about 10 years before this, so I was really excited but also nervous. But I was looking forward to escaping the cold and windy weather I was coming from. I love going to new places, but I realized long flights are not my forte. I did the best I could by packing a seat bag, including stashing my Kindle, so that I can make the most of my uninterrupted reading and movie catch up time. I was so ready to get off the plane, and it was so exciting to see the local culture already start being reflected in the airport. One big tip I have is to do your customs, your visa, and your tourist tax all online. For me, it ended up not making a huge time saving difference because I had to wait for my luggage, but that was out of my hands. I researched a lot on Reddit, and I have to agree, pre-booking a car to my hotel was the way to go. My driver was very nice and skilled at navigating a lot of traffic getting to Ubud. I didn't get a good look at the inn I'd booked, just reading reviews and looking at photos on booking.com until the next morning after a good night's sleep. It's not the fanciest place, but it was just enough for me as a solo traveler. Pretty clean, the staff were very hospitable, and the amazing central courtyard was just incredible to wake up to. I didn't stay super long though this morning because I had the Sweet Orange Walk rice field hike on my list. Bali, of course, has tons of rice fields, but this one is accessible from the Ubud city center. I'm super grateful to whoever posted a photo of that mahogany sign on Google Maps because I would not have found this entrance otherwise. It's pretty paved until it gets closer to the rice fields themselves, at which you'll want to watch your step. But then the view is worth it. I wanted to go early because it wasn't crowded yet, and I just needed a bit of a palate cleanser after so much transit and travel. And also because the rest of my day was more city focused within Ubud. Despite my best efforts to be more improvisational, I am a planner, but I'm proud that I planned extra time to kind of savor the area. Instead of planning down to the hour, I made myself do a general outline for certain things I wanted to see around Ubud, but otherwise I wandered in between those. I did make sure to make a stop at Ubud Art Market because it was a central place for a lot of different souvenirs and things to take back home to friends and family. Bali is known for a lot of affordable eating and great flavors, but a friend had recommended Hujan Locale to me, and I can say I totally vouch for it. Delicious dishes, an amazing ambiance, and I have to say, if you like spicy food, this is the place to go for you. This crispy duck was perfection. Before I show you my day tour, I have to say mosquito repellent was a must for this trip. I booked my tour off Get Your Guide and chose one that was a bit of a sampler of Ubud. Mine included a visit to the Cheluk Art Village, but in practice, I just went to one silver shop. There are other places though for woodworking stuff. My tour included just one waterfall, which was enough for me. Teganungan was beautiful, although be forewarned, there are a lot of steps to get down to the waterfall itself. You may have heard of Bali's famous cat chino or cat poo coffee. The type of cat is called a civet, or locally it's known as the luwak. My tour included a tasting of a bunch of herbal teas and coffees, but the luwak coffee tasting in particular was a separate fee. My tour did say that beforehand. The idea is that the coffee beans fall to the ground, the civets eat it, and then it gets processed through their digestive tract, and it adds a bit of a unique flavor. I found it was very easy to go down, and I did get some to take home for friends and family. The famous Tur to Empel. I wasn't prepared, so I had to rent a sarong.
We got our sarongs on.
Most people do the spring water cleansing, but I was just not feeling it that day, and it was fun to just explore the grounds of the temple themselves. The Tagalalong rice fields were our last stop of the day, and I was so happy to finally be there. Yes, this is the site of one of the famous Bali swings, but it's also great because you can hike down to the rice fields and develop an appreciation for their scale. But I'm not gonna lie, I was really excited for my turn at the swing. You can do a dress rental service, but I opted out. Thank you, Erwin, for making my last day in Ubud awesome. I could have called a Grab taxi, which is like an Uber, to my Seminyak hotel, but I pre booked, and once again, traffic. It took about an hour and a half to get to Seminyak, which is by the beach, whereas Ubud is in the jungle. And I'm so glad that I splurged on a plunge pool villa for myself. The pool is more than enough for one person, and the surroundings were so peaceful. I figured I might as well treat myself before I started my new job. Umasapna Villa was beautiful, and I definitely don't think I could have managed this outside of Bali. I'm so grateful. Inside, it was beautiful, light filled, very tranquil, and I was so excited to stay here. The rest of this vlog is going to be a bit nonlinear, kind of like the nature of my free flowing time in Seminyak by the beach, but also like this walking path that I followed off of Google Maps. So, something to note, the paths around here can be a little harder to navigate, but overall, I found that the condition of the sidewalks was better than what I saw in Ubud. I opted to walk a lot when I was in Ubud, but by the time I'd gotten to Seminyak, I was lazy and calling Gojek scooters everywhere. It was such a thrill to get around so quickly, and yes, some of them do have helmets to give you for safety, but not all. This should go without saying, but frequently reapply sunblock, especially along the beach. The Bali sun is strong and it'll save you a lot of agony. Okay, now on to the fun stuff. My first night in Seminyak, I went to Infinity Beach Club. I knew they had a cover charge, but included a pool towel and I could spend on food and beverage towards it. I didn't mind because I felt like their infinity pool was beautiful and I had the most amazing time just lying on my back looking at the clouds passing by. I realized my beach club wish list had been a little too ambitious, so in the spirit of actually relaxing, I narrowed down the list, but I'm really glad I went to this one, Mari Beach Club. It's got a beautiful design. I was told by some people that it's more traditional, and I had a great time. I was even given a little bit of rice to put on my forehead as my visit coincided with the dates of an important festival in Balinese culture and religion. Okay, so this next one I'm going to show you is technically a beach bar, not a beach club. Tiger Itchy Bum Bar came up on my Google Maps and I couldn't not go based on the name. To be honest, it was kind of like every other bar on the beach, but the name and as well as the swing and its location just made it a great afternoon to spend there. Drinks at beach bars are definitely much more economical than at the more upscale, fancier beach clubs. But, you know, with the beach clubs, you are paying a bit for your surroundings, so it all kind of works out. Tiger Itchy Bum, I think a bintang beer was maybe $3 US. I might be misremembering, but anyhow, I could have spent a lot of time here, but I couldn't miss my massage appointment. I was lucky enough to catch a kite festival though before I left the beach area, and it was incredible to see these giant, super long kites floating in the air. Really awe inspiring and just magical.
We're at Nia. We're gonna try their famous pork ribs.
The food was really good. A server chatted with me and asked me to leave a Google Maps review. Reading reviews is how I found the place. Coincidence? While in Bali, I knew I had to try babi guling somewhere, and I asked a local for a recommendation. They said Pak Melon was the place to go. Super cost effective. I got a sampler plate and a sweet tea for about 50,000 rupiah or $3 US, and it just was amazing value, amazing texture and flavor. And I have to say that as someone who grew up in Texas, the sweet tea was sweet even for me, which was surprising. A quick tangent on water and ice in Bali here. A lot of people recommend buying bottled water for brushing your teeth and for regular drinking. I heeded this advice except one or two times when I slipped up, and I think that's what contributed to a mild case of Bali belly. And while I don't recommend this, as others might say, you could just drink a lot of bintang beers. Since I was in a beach area, I had tried surfing the other day, but I wanted something a little more adventurous, and so I decided to book a water sports tour to Nusa Dua, which is a different part of Bali. Now, I have to say that the pricing for these is pretty steep, and I did see some reviews that people said you don't get the full amount of time on the jet ski, etc., so I knew what to watch out for. Here's my jet ski being wheeled out. I'm saving you from some of the full squeak. I used a waterproof phone pouch, but my jet ski videos are not good enough to share. But I did watch the time and made sure I got the full 5 or 6 minutes I paid for. The parasailing excursion, I have to say, was my more favorite of the two. Being up so high is just so amazing, and I forgot about everything about the negotiation and prices. Same as with the jet ski though, you're not up there for long. I think it was about 3 minutes. As soon as I came down, they sent a couple, maybe on their honeymoon, promptly up into the air. Just for variety, here's one I didn't do. It's called the flying fish. They drive the boat fast and you fly. There are moments of my trip here that I did not include in this video, both good and bad. Good being the amazing cost-effective massages and spas. Bad including the 1 or 2 meals I had that didn't quite sit right. But overall, I really have to thank Bali for its beauty and hospitality. A staff member at the hotel said, "I hope you'll come again," and I really have to agree. I hope so too. For now, I'm grateful I got to recharge before my job, and I hope Bali will be beautiful for many years to come. Thank you for watching, and I hope you got something useful out of this video or it helped with your trip planning. I know I relied a lot on other people's comments and reviews online to do my own trip planning, so this is my little way of paying it forward. Thank you for watching, and until next time.